Hogwarts Legacy 2 still has not been officially announced, but as of 2026, the conversation around the game has started to become much more serious. On one hand, there are claims that the sequel may already be quite far along in production, and on the other hand, a 2027 or 2028 release window is being talked about more and more. On top of that, there is a very interesting theory on the story side. Hogwarts Legacy 2 could finally take us to the Chamber of Secrets. So could we really see the Tom Riddle era? Why is Warner Brothers still not showing this game? And when could the first trailer arrive? Today, we're talking about everything we know about Hogwarts Legacy 2 and the latest updates. Let's start with the clearest point first. Hogwarts Legacy 2 has not been officially announced yet. Warner Brothers has not come out with a major reveal, and Avalanche Software has not shown any footage from the game. But despite that, this game continues to be one of the most anticipated unannounced titles, because the success of the first Hogwarts Legacy made the possibility of a sequel almost inevitable. The first game was a massive success for Warner Brothers. Hogwarts Legacy did not only attract players who loved the Harry Potter universe, it also became one of the best-selling games of 2023. According to the latest figures, the game has sold more than 40 million copies. After that kind of sales success, it does not seem very likely that Warner Brothers would simply leave this brand behind. That is why many people are no longer asking, will Hogwarts Legacy 2 happen? They are asking, when will it be shown? Because even though there is no official announcement yet, job listings, comments from industry insiders, and Warner Brothers' own statements all suggest that the sequel is moving forward behind the scenes. The most attention-grabbing piece of information recently came from industry insider Jordan Middler, who spoke about it on the VGC podcast. According to Middler, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is quite far along on the production side. So if this claim is true, the game may not just be in a very early idea stage. It could already have reached a serious point in development. And this is where things become surprising. If Hogwarts Legacy 2 really is that far along, why did it not appear at the recent major gaming events? Sony State of Play passed. Summer Game Fest passed. Xbox Games Showcase 2026 passed. But we did not get a single piece of footage from the game. No teaser, no logo, not even a small announcement. I actually made a detailed video about why we did not see some games at these game shows, so you can go watch that on the channel. That is why some people think Warner Brothers is deliberately keeping the game hidden. Because for a sequel this big, the right reveal timing matters a lot. If the game is really being prepared for 2027 or 2028, maybe the company is waiting for a bigger and stronger stage, instead of rushing out an announcement. Right now, the strongest release window being discussed is 2027 or 2028. That timeline actually makes sense. The first Hogwarts Legacy came out in 2023. If the sequel entered development after that period, then 2027 would mean a 4-year development cycle, and 2028 would mean 5 years. For a major open-world game, that is not strange at all. Statements from Warner Brothers also make this possibility stronger. The company is said to be returning to its biggest gaming franchises in 2027 and 2028. When we look at the major brands under Warner Brothers games, Hogwarts Legacy is definitely one of the strongest candidates. Because very few projects in their catalog have achieved this level of commercial success. That is why all eyes are now turning to the Game Awards 2026. Since the game was not shown during the summer events, the big stage at the end of the year could make much more sense. If Warner Brothers wants to show Hogwarts Legacy 2 for the first time, an event like the Game Awards would be a very powerful option. Of course, there is another detail here. Right now, many companies in the gaming industry are paying close attention to Grand Theft Auto 6 release window. Choosing a release date around a game as massive as GTA 6 could be very risky. So Warner Brothers may be carefully adjusting both the announcement timing and the release date. So what is the most talked about topic besides the release date? Of course, the story. And right now, one of the biggest fan theories is that Hogwarts Legacy 2 could finally take us to the Chamber of Secrets. This is not official information yet, but there are some interesting details behind the theory. In the first Hogwarts Legacy, we cannot enter the Chamber of Secrets, but we can find its entrance point. In the girls' bathroom near the Slytherin common room, there is a snake symbol on the sinks, pointing to Salazar Slytherin. Players can see this location and get the related field guide detail with Revelio, but the door never opens. This detail could simply be an Easter egg, but it could also be a clue intentionally left for the sequel, because the Chamber of Secrets is one of the most iconic mysteries in the Harry Potter universe. The fact that the first game shows the entrance but does not allow us to go inside makes some fans think Avalanche may have been saving this major secret for the second game. The most interesting part of the theory is the idea that the game could take place in the 1940s, because this period lines up with Tom Riddle's years as a student at Hogwarts. In other words, the school years of the character who would later become Lord Voldemort, the opening of the Chamber of Secrets, and the dark events beginning inside Hogwarts all sit at the center of this era. If Hogwarts Legacy 2 really goes to the 1940s, that would mean a very different atmosphere from the first game. Because this time, the story would not just be a magical school adventure, a much darker secret hidden inside Hogwarts, fear spreading among students, and the rise of a dangerous character like Tom Riddle could become the center of the game. But there is one important point to keep in mind here. The Chamber of Secrets and the Tom Riddle era are heavily connected to the main Harry Potter story. So if Avalanche goes into this subject, they will have to move carefully without breaking canon. That is both a huge opportunity and a huge risk. Because the story could be very powerful, but if it is written poorly, it could feel too limited for the player. Another possibility is that Warner Brothers may connect Hogwarts Legacy 2 more closely to HBO's new Harry Potter series. There were also previous discussions that the game could take place in a setting closer to the modern era. If the company is planning the game and the show to support each other around the same period, Hogwarts Legacy 2 may not fully go to the 1940s. But the Chamber of Secrets theory is still not off the table, because the second season of the HBO series will cover the Chamber of Secrets story. So the game could explore the same theme from a different time period. For example, Tom Riddle's school years. That way, it could expand the same mythology without directly retelling the exact same story as the show. Other small details in the first game are also being discussed as support for this theory. In the game, we can find the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, and although we do not see the basilisk, there is a small trace related to basilisks somewhere else on the map. During the In the Shadow of the Mountain quest, players can find details like a petrified basilisk breeder and cages in a hidden cave. This shows that the game did not completely ignore basilisk mythology. Of course, we have to remember that all of this is still theory right now. Warner Brothers and Avalanche have not confirmed anything about the story yet, so we do not know for sure whether Hogwarts Legacy 2 will really focus on the Chamber of Secrets, go to the Tom Riddle era, or take place in a completely different time period. But the general picture of the 2026 update is pretty clear. Hogwarts Legacy 2 still has not been officially shown, but it is being said that the game may already be moving forward in development. The strongest release window is seen as 2027 or 2028. The Game Awards 2026 seems like a logical possibility for the first major reveal. And on the story side, the Chamber of Secrets and the Tom Riddle era are currently among the most interesting theories. In short, Hogwarts Legacy 2 continues to stay silent, but this does not feel like empty silence. Warner Brothers most likely wants to show this game at the right time, on the right stage. If the claims are true, we may see the first serious sign of Hogwarts Legacy 2 the coming months or at the latest by the end of the year. And if the Chamber of Secrets theory actually turns out to be true, this sequel could arrive with a much darker, much more mysterious, and much bigger Wizarding World story than the first game. So do you think Hogwarts Legacy 2 could really come out in 2027? Or is Warner Brothers saving this game for 2028? More importantly, would you want the sequel to go into the Chamber of Secrets and the Tom Riddle era, or would you rather see a completely new time period and a new story? Make sure to write your thoughts in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious to hear what you think. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss any new Hogwarts Legacy 2 updates. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.